Venezuela may indeed be without its leader, but it is not without his government, at least for the moment. Nicolás Maduro was, by all accounts, irredeemable, a repressive and brutal dictator with a long list of alleged human rights violations. The one-time bus driver drove his oil-rich nation's economy into ruin. Over a quarter of Venezuela's population has fled the poverty and the dysfunction, so there's little love lost about him being removed. But inside Venezuela, any cheers were tempered by the uncertainty of the days ahead.
Many Venezuelans hate Maduro, anything to get rid of him. But it's only one step in the process. Now we have to see what happens next.
William Neuman spent years covering Maduro's rise to power for the New York Times. And he fears the title of his book on Venezuela, Things Are Never So Bad That They Can't Get Worse, could easily come true now.
Is the U.S. going to send in troops? And I want to know what it means we're going to run the country. And why do we want to run another country?
The White House says it never set out to run a country, but to eradicate drugs. In 2020, Maduro was charged in the Southern District of New York for narco-terrorism and conspiracy to import cocaine. A superseding federal indictment, unsealed after this weekend's raid, adds more drug-related charges and more defendants, including Maduro's wife, Cilia Flores. It's not the first time the U.S. has used federal drug trafficking charges as a way to depose the Latin American strongman.
Noriega in U.S. custody.
Back in 1989, U.S. troops invaded Panama and eventually captured its president, Manuel Noriega.
But unlike Panama in 1989, we swore in another president. We actually did manage to change the regime. That has not happened in Venezuela.
Oscar Perez is a professor of political science at the University of North Texas at Dallas.
I think for the United States, the question is, what is our ultimate goal in Venezuela? Is it the arrest of an alleged narco trafficker? Is it about control of the oil resources that Venezuela has? Is it about democracy?
Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, who won the Nobel Peace Prize last year for her efforts to advance democracy in Venezuela,
I am very hopeful Venezuela will be free,
said that the time had come for popular and national sovereignty to return to her country. The problem? President Trump yesterday said that she lacks popular support, and many other opposition leaders have, like her, fled or are now hiding, fearing reprisals.
They're not in Venezuela, so in many ways, they are dependent on the United States pushing a transition process that might lead them to take power eventually.
But just how would that work?
If you've decided to run the country for an extended period of time, well, then that means that, you're not going to allow the citizens of that country to elect their own leadership, because then you're not running it.
Protests are already dotting U.S. cities, but back in Venezuela, people are taking to the streets for a different reason. They're lining up outside grocery stores. Food and medicine were already in short supply. What Venezuelans now have in abundance is anxiety about where this country of nearly 30 million people goes from here.